Welcome to the Forefront Radio. Welcome to the Forefront Radio. I'm your host, Afia Levi. Hope everybody's doing all right. Hope everybody's doing all right. This is a test that I'm running on our Restream platform just so I can get used to trying to host different episodes live here through Restream onto our YouTube channel. For a long period of time, y'all, I've been hosting the live streams of the Forefront Radio on TikTok and just reposting them on YouTube. But since coming across the Restream platform, I decided to start having more live episodes available on YouTube, so that way we can kind of boost our numbers on YouTube and get more subscribers on there. The Forefront Radio basically is a podcast dedicated to the diaspora. We teach that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that you are the lost tribes of Israel according to the Bible and according to prophecy. We appreciate everyone that joins in on our discussions talking about Bible prophecy. And it's important to know that the who we call lost tribes still exist today. There's no way that you can have a group of people like the Romans, the Greeks, the Persians, the Babylonians that are all mentioned in the Bible. And then all of a sudden, these people groups in modern day times, they say they don't exist anymore. When we know for a fact that the descendants of the Greeks and the Romans exist today, we have a country called Greece. Many of their descendants are still in existence. We have a country called Rome, that's Italy, and their descendants spread as far as Britain, and Britain took over America. So for them to say that the lost tribes of Israel, who had a significant impact by the Romans, who were in fact enslaved by the Romans, and then renamed to various titles that they don't exist anymore, is a lie. It's a vast misconception. It's a significant lie that they've been teaching us for the past several hundred years. So now in 2025, we're waking up and telling you the truth of your history. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the lost tribes of Israel according to the Bible and according to prophecy. So join us on further episodes where we teach this truth through not only the Bible, but various sources all throughout the diaspora. We appreciate everyone that joins in on our conversations on a continual basis. Now, why the Forefront Radio? Why should you choose the Forefront Radio? Number one, there are a lot of Christian communities out there, a lot of Islamic communities, and a lot of Jewish communities. But what sets the Forefront Radio apart from these platforms that are out there is that we correlate the Bible with current events as well as history and make the Bible come alive. For all of our experiences dealing with modern religion, they have relegated the people of the Bible to misnomers and said that they don't exist anymore. And we're here at the Forefront Radio providing you with the proof, the evidence that they have been lying to us for centuries, y'all. And we uncover it with facts, with archaeological data, with history data, and things of that nature. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a prime example of the things that they have deceived us from, understanding in these last days, and why it's important for us to realize the information that they have been withholding from us. We have a map by a person by the name of Godby. In the 1930s and 1940s, he produced this map, and this map gives us clear cut evidence to prove that they know who we are. They know our history. They know that our history has always existed, and they have tried to deceive us from knowing who we are in these last days. So now imagine you have a map here of Africa where there are various locations all throughout Africa, and on this map, it's various names of the tribes that are written across here, right? Like, for example, notice on the key area, it mentions Yemen Jews, Falasha Jews. Notice it mentions Berber. Notice it mentions Moorish. And notice it mentions Negro Jews. Negro Jews. Negro Jews. So wait a minute. If this information was important, Why is it mentioning Negro Jews? Why is it mentioning Berbers, Moorish, Yemen, Falasha? So that means all the way from the areas of Abyssinia, Yemen, going into North Africa, all the way around to West Africa, all the way into the areas further south in Africa. These are all areas where they knew of the existence of Jews. Notice it says on the far right side, Jewish Kingdom of Ganata. Ganata is where we get the modern phrase Ghana. Ghana is a country that still exists, y'all, to this day. Right? It was known as the Coast. Right? Over here we have the Ashanti, we have Dahomey, which is called the Kingdom of Benin or modern day Benin and Togo. You have Nigeria, right? Nigeria, all right here, right? And notice you have Levite cities amongst the Hausa tribes, amongst Benai Ephraim. All of these areas are Israelites. All of these areas are Israelites, ladies and gentlemen. So for years, this was printed in the 1930s, 1940s. For years, they have prevented us from knowing who we are. But there's a map that literally shows you the various places that they know of where they stole our ancestors, y'all. They stole our ancestors from the Middle East, from Northeast Africa, and displaced us into all nations, displaced us into America, displaced us into Europe, displaced us across the Caribbean islands, displaced us and scattered us throughout the South Americas, the Pacific Islands, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Madagascar, scattered us amongst East Africa, Central Africa, South Africa, West Africa. We've truly been a real diaspora, just like the Bible says, y'all. So you would think that with all the various denominations that are out here, there's approximately 2.34 billion Christians on the planet. And you're telling me that the very Bible that they're reading from, they can't figure out who the Bible is talking about? How does that even make sense, y'all? How does that make sense? How do you have an entire tribe group of people? You have their documents, you have their writings, but all of a sudden they don't exist anymore? Does that even make sense? It does not. It does not make sense. That shows you that the information being presented today is valid for us to investigate. Very and the truth is going to make you free. So what is the truth? The truth of the matter is we are so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Indigenous. We are the lost tribes of Israel according to the Bible, according to history, and according to prophecy. But guess what? There's been a concerted effort to hide this information from the general public. There's been a concerted effort to hide this information from those that want to research the Bible, not from a religious perspective, but from a archaeological, historical perspective. So we know that these people exist. So when you study anthropology, which is the study of people, how is it that we have all the records of these individuals known as lost tribes, but then we attribute it to European folks that converted to a religion called Judaism? And then when we present the true information that's out there, you'll have religionists that are so wrapped up in their religion and their dogma that they'll call us heretics for bringing out this information. They'll say we're full of anger and animosity and vitriol because we're bringing out historical facts. You can't make this stuff up, y'all. That's why it's very important in these last days to know the truth. The Bible says you're going to know the truth, and the truth is going to make you free. Free from the misconceptions, free from the lies, free from the deceptions that we have received in these last days. All right. So I pray that this information can be insightful for you. We invite you to subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/The Forefront Radio 2.0. Find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and many other platforms.